Hello and welcome back to It's New. Barry Schwartz here. We are missing Mordy, so everybody's gonna be much more smilier today. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Greg. Thanks for doing this a little bit earlier than usual.
You bet.
All right, cool. Greg, what are you talking about?
All right. For standard shopping and PMax with a product feed shopping, Performance Max will change the way it performance matches with standard shopping.
Cool. And Crystal?
We're talking about AI everywhere, all over the serve, all the AI you can get. Come get it. It's piping hot.
And I'm going to be covering Nick Fox taking the helm of Google search and some more, obviously, ranking volatility. You didn't hear enough of that. Yada, yada, yada.
All right, first up, big news for the way the Performance Max is going to work with standard shopping campaigns. In case you are not familiar with how standard shopping works, you typically have priority levels. You have low, you have medium, you have high. That's the way things have always worked until PMax launched, where it came and just blew everything else out of the water. So if you had all your shopping campaigns and then you ran one PMax and that product feed was in that feed in PMax, it basically was shut down for everything else. So they basically didn't play nice in the way that it was before. And came out, and I had an email, I confirmed this as well, that it will now kind of take a little bit more of that matching that we see within text ads. So if your product ranks or has better ad rank, and there's no keywords, so it's super hard with shopping. But if you have a standard shopping, it can now prioritize over PMax if it's a closer match. So it's a little bit confusing on how this works, but essentially you can have the same product in a shopping or standard shopping and a Performance Max now. See how it works. I'm doing some testing right now. I'm not seeing great results, but this is supposed to be before Black Friday. It's very hard to explain.
Yeah, it seems like that, but it seems like the overall sentiment is that it's a good thing. Like
Great
it
thing.
gives you more control, right?
Yeah, because like it would shut your shopping campaigns down. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll like wrap it and say at the end of the day, like in off hours, let's start there and then wrap it with PMax up until the beginning. And then like, hey, we want to be able to see, like we want to be able to direct things better with normal shopping.
Right. And if you don't want to direct things yourself and you don't want to pause things yourself, I think Google's going to be pausing some things in the future.
Yeah. So any of your ads related to elections will be paused automatically on November 5th. It's just a weird announcement. Like it's kind of funny when you see some of those ads like running still when the vote is over. I always get like a little chuckle. It's like, you know, those Super Bowl winner shirts for the people that didn't win. But yeah, so it will be shut down on November 5th by Google. Is if it's related to processes or outcomes for political season.
Yep. So you can't walk around with Super Bowl winner shirts for people who did not win the Super Bowl, I guess. Shame. And then I noticed one little ad thing that was super interesting. Nick Smith noticed this, where Google's testing for local service ads, like request competitive quotes. This is slightly different than the previous ways that Google would take you to a local ad, a bit small business on the Google business profile and say, here, you clicked on our ad. We want to charge you, but if you want to charge other customers as well, other advertisers as well. So click here and we'll go ahead and charge everybody for everything. I found this really, really weird, but this is typical Google local service ads. Google confirmed this is just a test. And this guy, so Nick Smith from Reister spotted this, and we covered it at Search Engine Land. I'm covering it this morning at Search Engine Roundtable. Just another thing to put in I just want to archive this to say, hey, Google's doing this again, which is kind of crazy. And then on the big Google news that I was out for, Google has gotten rid of their Google head of search. I'm letting get rid of him. Could you pronounce this for me? What's this?
Who are you asking?
The Nick Fox replaced who? What's his name?
Prabhakar Raghavan.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This is why you're here, Greg. No, I'm joking. He's now the he's moving into a role called chief technologist at Google, which is what Google does to their senior people who are no longer involved in executive decisions, I believe. And now Nick Fox, who's been with Google literally since the early days. I think like 2003 or so. I think he was like at a previous company that ran like search ads called Traffic or something like that. I remember like covering him, and he spoke at XMX, or not XMX, SES in the old days, like before he was at Google. In any event, he's a seasoned Google guy, mostly on the ad side, from what I believe, and he's replaced him. He's now the head of Google Search. Before that, so Paragrahan. I'm so bad at names. I'm sorry. He was at Google for 4 years. He was the head of Google for 4 years since 2020, replacing Ben Gomes, who headed Google Search from 2018, who replaced John, who I'm not going to go ahead and pronounce his last name, a big AI guy, who replaced Amit Singhal in 2016. So Google's been running through heads of search, but this one took a little bit longer than I thought it would. I thought, so it seems like Nick Fox is a good guy. I don't know if you know him, Greg, at all, but he's been in the ad space for a while. So we'll see what happens there. So that's a big thing. I think people are pretty happy about that move, especially with all the Department of Justice and all the man who killed Google, or who killed search headlines out there.
Yeah, like he literally couldn't do worse. You know what I mean? So
yeah, at least in terms of PR. And then again, we had some Google search ranking volatility over the weekend. Glenn shared some very interesting charts, including like he's seeing like some sites that surged significantly that were hit really, really hard in the August core update, now surging back. And this is the story for a lot of people in terms of like people were hit. It's ups and downs. Like it's like Google basically teasing people, and it's pretty sad to see this. So just if you did notice any ranking updates over the weekend, you're definitely not alone. And then moving on to Crystal on the Gen AI stuff.
Yeah, so we have more AI. So according to one Barry Schwartz over at Search Engine Roundtable, Google's generative AI snippets have been seen throughout search results. So people are starting to see that feature snippets, knowledge panels, local listings, and other forms of generative AI are across the Google search results. One example that they shared, that was shared in the article, is essentially you have instead of it looks kind of like a PEAA, or like the more things to know section that you used to see on the side of the knowledge panel things, and then it would get more information about it. So it would be like age, or cost to buy, or how to get, or where to go, or that sort of thing, and you would get essentially another AI overview that has more links into different sections. The example they showed was Apple iPhone, and it had lots and lots of details about it. So lots of details there. It'll be interesting to see how this develops if it rolls out. Barry in the article, and you're here now, so it's strange talking to you about that in the third person, but Barry said that he wasn't able to replicate this, but it may very well be a test for this feature, and it might be something that we see rolling out in the future.
Yeah, it's very interesting. This is definitely called the things to know section, because I was able to replicate the things to know title for exactly the same interface, but I didn't get the generative AI is experimental. I think whenever it shows generative AI is experimental, you're part of the Search Labs opt-in thing, and I tested in like 100 different browsers, opt-in, opt-out, it just couldn't come up. But this is like generative AI all over the search results, which is pretty interesting. So it was a nice find by Sachin Patel. So nice find there. Thank you. Any event, thanks so much for doing this. We did record this a bit earlier. You can see by some of our eyes. That being said, I think tomorrow we might not do this. We'll hopefully be back Wednesday, and then I'm off again Thursday and Friday. So I'm scheduling up stories like crazy. I think I have like 30 stories in the schedule. So speak to you guys later. Thanks so much for doing this. Have a great day. Bye-bye.